This is Event America show right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. Welcome all of you across this great country of ours. We hope all of you had a great 4th of July last weekend. And we want to thank all our first responders and our military and all the great people out there that defends our freedom. Freedom is not free. And I have to acknowledge that, that red, white, and blue flag means a lot to the show. And we just want to say thank you. Well, now I'd like to welcome the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Because America invents, right, Rita?
That's right. That is right. And, inventing has been around for centuries. All right. In Western Europe, they acknowledged intellectual property back to the 1400s and would credit it to somebody. In this country, it started in the late 1700s, and a patent was good for 3 years. Well, now it's good for 20 years from the date of filing. And we started running into some of these issues where companies are backstabbing the independent inventor. And so, it's like everything else, man. If you've got rights, you've got to fight to keep them or they die.
Well, it's I'm going to use biblical terms because, I need to tell my audience that me and the inventor lady, we're very spiritual people.
Yes, absolutely.
We're very spiritual. And with that being said, it reminds me of David and Goliath. It's the same story of David and Goliath, But at the end of the day, David slew Goliath.
That's right.
As big as he was, as strong as he was.
And it was because David didn't give up.
That's right. He figured a way how to bring this big guy down.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help the little guy. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to bring the big company down. But at the end of the day, all we're going to do is make it a fair fight. We're going to say, okay, the little inventor, that's all they want is a fair fight.
That's right.
They just want to be a fair fight. Let's play by the same rules.
It's hard enough to get through the process and get a product to market.
Well, the rules aren't the same for everybody. I don't care what you say. It's not the same.
Exactly. When you get stabbed in the back, you didn't see it coming, and it was because of a big guy. Yeah. That financially can chop your head off. We have to fight back, and we've got to be able to reach out and help everybody.
I don't know what the purchase threshold is, and I'm sure there's a purchase threshold out there. If I'm company A, small company A, and I reach a certain sales or a certain plateau, I'm not going to be egotistical or, I hate to use that word, stupid enough to believe that they're not coming after me. To grab it. And if they can't buy me out, they got to steal it. They're going to do illegal theft.
It's bad enough that we have to be careful of having our intellectual property stolen by other countries. We'll leave the C country out of it. But y'all know. But it's in our own country that they're backstabbing us. And that is what is so sad.
But
because, everybody, there's so many things that are in every single household that was invented by the independent inventor.
Inventor lady, but how can we fight? I mean, how can the small guy really fight for inventor rights, though? Where do they go? What do they do? Is there a platform?
Well, they're going to stay tuned for the rest of this episode because we've got Randy Landreneau on and Molly Metz. And Randy is, personal hands-on with this fight. And I've been with Randy and Josh to lobby Capitol Hill when we were just getting started with this. So, been there with them, watch the fight. And if we don't fight and we don't stand up for our rights and we don't get it out there, and the thing is, and what we're going to talk about today, it's not just about the inventor fighting. It's about all of America fighting for the rights. Anybody can go and call into their congressman, their senator, and say, look, you got to look out for the inventor rights.
But here's the problem. I agree with you. But I will also tell you this, that, and this is my opinion and opinion only. We have a guy in the White House right now that is for the small guy. But how we can get the message to him, because he's so insulated You understand? Because then he's blocked by the lobbyists, he's blocked by this one. But I've had dealings with him. In the past, I know that if the message gets to him, he is pro small man. There's no question that Donald Trump is pro small man.
Michael, why don't you send him a tweet? He twitters all the time.
I'm trying to get through that. Every time when they send me that little fundraiser thing and send them $5,000, maybe I might, have to say, well, you need to listen to what I got to say,
Yep.
But that's what Congress is another story. I'm sorry, but I have no respect either both sides right now. It's just depending who's got the biggest check. And I've been taking fire on this, but at the end of the day, it costs them so much money to get elected. So much money.
I know
that they are strangled hold by their contributors, and but you got to remember that's only 1/3 of our government, an equal branch, but only 1/3.
There you go.
You understand what I'm saying? So we have to fight for their rights. And it shows like this that say, yeah, call your Congress, stay on them, stay on them, tell them that this is what we need to do, and hold them accountable. Because at the end of the day, if we don't protect them, then we're not going to have the future products of America. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't, because it ain't going to happen because they can't afford it. They're going to get attacked. They're going to get squashed. All these bad things that can happen to me when I'm following the law. But at the end of the day, you get so big that these guys don't follow the law. Matter of fact, they are the law, because in some instances they've already planted the administrators that used to be regulating the same industry that they represent.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
One of the things that everything is related. So we do the Made in America Hour, and we want to encourage people to manufacture in America. But when you start getting when you start the inventive process into dying mode, then the Made in America is also dying. Well, so as we're trying to bring things back, we've got to protect the inventor so that they're encouraged to move on. Like I said, it's hard enough to go through all of this without getting stabbed in the back.
Well, that's why I'm excited to have Randy on the show. He's been on the show before. He kind of gives us an update of what's going on his end. And then you have, the Made in America guy himself at the top of the third hour. He's going to come aboard and he's going to talk about, his inner circle, what's he hearing from Washington. So we try to cover the whole spectrum. We try to cover the political part. We're trying to cover the, what's happening now, news part. And, and then at the end of the day, we're going to let our audience figure it out for themselves. We're not going to make that decision for them, but we will give them that information. Right, yes. Rita? That's all we can do is provide them the information that they need.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will have links to everything. I'll send out newsletters and post everything. So all they've got to do is go to US Inventor on LinkedIn, on other social media. They can go to mine and find the link. And I know that Randy and Molly are very good about sending out. Tell them this. Here's the the text. Here's the link. Here's the information. So you don't have to say, oh my God, what do I say? It's like no. They are very good at saying, say this. Call your guy and say this.
Well, what are you hearing right now, Rita? I know we're going to talk to Randy. He's going to give us an update. But what are you hearing right now? What direction that it's really that the inventor lady is really going to take a stand and really put that information out there?
So part of it is what was added to the big beautiful bill that really is another knife in the back to the inventor. But I know that Randy sent out a newsletter this morning that said, oh, we've had some good news and we're going to let him tell us what that good news might be. But it really is, things can change real fast, and I just look for them to keep us up to date in what's going on.
Yeah, I tell you. Well, let's take a short break. I'm the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and with Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady. This is the Invent America show, because America invents. We'll be right back. Yay!